Hello, hello. Welcome to Jenny Mitich Live. Tuesday night. We're here. We're hanging out. We have so much to cover today. And today we are going to be doing a book giveaway. So my book right here, Complete Carnivore, I'm giving away a copy tonight. If you would like to be entered into the drawing, comment hashtag Complete Carnivore, all one word. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen right there. Hashtag Complete Carnivore. Get that into the comment box and we'll get you signed up for this giveaway. At the end of the live stream, we will be giving away this copy and I'll get it sent out to you. So welcome to everybody. My name is Jenny Mitich. I've been on the carnivore diet for almost 3.5 years now. And here on this channel, we do a lot of carnivore, like beginner carnivore educational videos, a lot of N-of-1 experiments that involve blood work, DEXA scans, continuous glucose monitoring, ketones, all that kind of stuff, just so that we can learn a little bit more about how our bodies work. And I also do a lot of carnivore recipes. So I'm also the author of this book right here, Complete Carnivore. First 200 pages of this book is a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet. And the second half is 80 carnivore recipes. So this is kind of 2 books in one. Again, if you'd like to be entered to win, comment hashtag Complete Carnivore, and we're going to draw at the end. I started carnivore because I had gained 70 pounds when I was pregnant with my twin boys, Max and Harry. They are now 4. Oh my gosh. Little bundles of energy and joy they are. Love them to death. But I gained a lot of weight. So I was actually 100 pounds heavier than I am right now today on the day that I gave birth to my twins. And I had never been that big in my entire life. The weight was really slow coming off afterwards too. So that was very frustrating. For the first year, I tried to do lean meats, lots of fruits and vegetables, you know, what everybody out there says is healthy, 1,200 calories, all that jazz. And yeah, I lost a little bit of weight. I lost about 20 pounds over a year, but it was very slow and very difficult. And I was not having a great time. My husband, I met him in 2017. Oh my gosh, almost 10 years ago. Love him to death. And he had lost 130 pounds using keto and water fasting before we met. And he still had about 70 pounds he wanted to lose. So he came to me about, 6 months after the boys were born and said, "Hey, Jenny, do you want to try this carnivore diet?" And I was like, well, no. How can you get all of the vitamins and minerals you need only eating meat? That can't be healthy for you. You're probably going to have a heart attack and die. What about your cholesterol? Blah, 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 blah. All the standard, excuses and myths that we think in the beginning. And I said no. But then we watched Dr. Ken Berry's videos for 6 months together. And I, still struggled doing it my way. And I, after about 6 months of that, 6 more months of that, I was very frustrated. This weight should be coming off. What the heck? I'm still 195 pounds. What's going on? So finally, I said, you know what, honey, I think I'm going to try the carnivore diet. And so I committed to it for 30 days. I wore a continuous glucose monitor for fun. I'm a big data nerd. If you watch my channel, you'll know that. And I had been wearing it for like 3.5 months before that. So I'm like, I just wonder what's going to happen to my glucose. And I wonder what's going to happen to my weight. Well, the first month was really rough. I had a lot of keto flu symptoms and oxalate dumping from all those healthy fruits and vegetables I'd been eating. Didn't know that at the time. But I ended up losing 8 pounds the first month, which is a huge amount of weight for me. It's the most I've ever lost in 1 month doing anything. And I also saw my glucose levels drop from the low 100s on average to the low 80s. So that was enough to, give me pause, like, okay, this is doing something. So then I continued another 30 days, another 30 days. And now I have strung together almost 3.5 years. So yeah, very interesting journey. I'm not one of those people that went carnivore and it solved all my problems. I really wish I was. I still have Hashimoto. Well, the Hashimoto's presented itself around month 4 of carnivore, not carnivore related. I know that now. Just had some really interesting testing done. I'll have to tell you about it. But it's not been all puppies and butterflies for me. I've had a hard time losing weight occasionally from time to time because of that. Still not at my goal weight, but getting closer. And feeling very healthy. I've seen just amazing improvements in my physical and mental health. I used to have severe anxiety and depression that I took medication for. since I was 13. No longer have that. I don't even have the medication for anxiety attacks anymore. I just don't need it. Just tons of improvements there, physical health. And of course, losing 50 pounds is helpful. But yeah, that's my story. Thanks for being here. I'm here for you. So this time, make sure you comment #CompleteCarnivore. But also, if you have any questions, please make sure to put like a QQQ or a question mark in front of it so that I can identify it from the chat. I'm going to go through some housekeeping stuff, some cool events and things that are coming up that I would love to see you at. So we're going to go through that first, and then I'm going to get to questions. Also, if you have a story or a big win that you've experienced over the past, month or so on Carnivore, let us know. We love sharing that with you. And yeah, that's what's going on. So let me get over to here. We're going to start with the Collaborative Science Conference that is happening this weekend in Las Vegas. I am speaking on day 2 at, I think, 9 or 9:30 in the morning. And I'm doing a presentation on my 21-day sardine fast experience. It's going to be interesting. I've been working on it all week. I love this conference. This is the 3rd year it's gone on. This is Dave Feldman's conference. And it is for all you science nerds out there. Tickets are still available. This is a fundraiser. So there's lots of different ticket tiers, from $25 for the whole weekend all the way up to $1,000. And you get different benefits at different ticket tier levels. There's a VIP dinner, there's a farewell reception, cholesterol code screening, there's a recording of the Feldman protocol with Dave Feldman and Dr. Ken Berry going on Thursday. So if you're in the Vegas area, I've put a link in the description where you can pick up your tickets. God, there's a million hotels. So, we always stay at a different hotel every time we go to Vegas. So that's going to be really fun. And yeah, we'd love to see you there. It's going to be a blast. Promises to be amazing. Lots and lots of big names in the carnivore and keto health space will be there if you want to ask them some questions. I also wanted to mention channel membership. You can see Mary. Hello, Mary. Good to see you. She has that little symbol right next to her name on the right. That means she's a channel member. So channel members support the testing and data gathering that I do. For example, the 21-day sardine fast I just did, I did before and after blood work, DEXA, continuous glucose monitoring, continuous ketone monitoring, and Keto Mojo blood and ketone readings. And all of that comes out of pocket. So these people just helped support the testing and data gathering I do. You can join on YouTube. You can join on Patreon. Lots of options there. You'll get access to some behind the scenes photos and videos, stuff that's going on. And also, when I can, I release the videos for the YouTube videos early. So like yesterday's, I literally got it Sundays, I literally got it right when I was going to release it. So I couldn't do that one early, but typically I get them a few days early. So I like to release those early for all of my channel members on both Patreon and YouTube, and lots of other benefits. So you can look that up. Let's see here. On Monday, April 13th, we have a very fun event going on. We're doing a VIP meetup and cholesterol code screening in Schaumburg, Illinois. So this is kind of 2 events in one. Basically, first, we're going to meet up for a dinner at Texas Day Brazil, right at Woodfield Mall. And then we are going to drive 4 minutes over to the other side of the mall to go to Streets of Woodfield to see the cholesterol code. It's a private screening, and it's going to be super, super fun. So there's 2 ticket tiers. The first one is just to the screening. I've got that link in the description. This is old. We actually have like 65, I think, of these tickets reserved. So you can go and reserve your ticket. This is, I think, anywhere between $20 to $25 with the fees. And this is just for the screening. But if you want to come to the VIP dinner at Texas Day Brazil first, you can head to the link in the description, or you can scan this QR code here. And that will take you over to the page where you can reserve that. Now, that's $150. That includes dinner. It includes your screening ticket, and anything that's left over is going to the Citizen Science Foundation, which is Dave Feldman's charitable organization that is raising money for the cholesterol research that he's doing. So that's going to be super, super fun. We have lots of fun guests coming so far. Myself and my husband, Carrie and Jen Mann, Adam Lacey, Barb, No Carb Barb is going to be there as well. And many others. We're adding new VIP guests every week. So come and hang out with us Monday, April 13th. I think that's really going to start really gearing up, probably by the end of March. It's definitely going to sell out. It's just so early still. I wanted to talk a little bit about meat stock because after Collaborative Science, that's the next big conference that's coming up. It's, I believe, May 1st through the 3rd. Yes, but there are tickets available still for the speaker's cabin where you can hobnob with all of the speakers. Huge names this year. Michaela Peterson will be there. Obviously, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Baker, Steak and Butter Gal, and just everybody under the sun, myself included. It's going to be super fun. And there are tickets still available of both the speaker cabin, VIP tickets, and just the conference tickets themselves. This is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and everybody's going to be there. It's like a huge, huge, huge deal. So I've put that link in the description as well, so you can get that. Just a couple more little things. If you are just joining, make sure you comment #CompleteCarnivore to get into the drawing. And if you have a question, QQQ or a question mark in front of it so that I can identify it once I get over to the chats. Thank you very much. The Chicagoland meetup, the annual Chicagoland meetup is Saturday, June 6th. This is going to be in Naperville. Follow Karen S. Miles on Instagram to get information on that. She is the organizer. Karen is a legend. I love her to death. And we will be there, me and the boys and Goran. And it's great. So it usually starts off with like a hike, some pickleball, and then we all have barbecue together at Mission Barbecue in Naperville. So there's a whole like day, but you don't have to go to all of it. Like we typically just go to the barbecue part because my boys are insane. And I can't handle it, but that is what it is. Okay, so mark your calendars for that. Also mark your calendars for Saturday, July 25th. This is the Kilts Chicagoland meetup. Myself, Goran, Kilts, obviously. I believe Chris Cooking Nashville and his wonderful wife, Ash, whom I love very much, and a few others. I think Carrie Mann and Adam Lacey, I think they're all already signed up for it. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you're putting that date down. I don't think there's any like hard and fast details beyond that yet, but just mark that date because that's going to be fun. Oh, I also wanted to share with you, I have brand new t-shirts. Here's one of them. This is, I got 99 problems, but omega-3 ain't one, to commemorate my 21-day sardine fast. Two other shirts I have that are new designs up in my Dashery store are I survived the sardine fast. That's one of them. And the other design is N of One. It's an N of One t-shirt. So be sure to go check those out. Very reasonably priced, very high quality. I wear them all the time. I literally wear them like in my daily life. And I love them to death. Love them to death. Finally, before we get to our questions, I don't know if you know, but I do coaching. I have coaching hours available. Currently, March is pretty much booked out, and then we'll be camping for a couple of weeks, but April does have some times available. So if you need some help with anything, you can book a call at any time. That link is always in the description of every single one of my videos. So don't suffer if you don't need to. If you need a little help, I find that most people just need 1 or 2 meetings and that gets them on the right track. I do have some long-term clients that I've been working with for a few months. And we just, meet weekly, and it's really whatever you want it to be. So just wanted to make you aware that that is available. All right, book giveaway. Make sure you comment #CompleteCarnivore for your chance to win a copy of my book, Complete Carnivore. And if you have a question, please put that in the comment box as well. Make sure you're putting a QQQ or something like that so I know you have a question. All right, let's get over to it and say hi to everybody. Mary says, hello. Good to see you, Mary. Sue Beverly, good afternoon from Phoenix, Arizona. Also getting the complete carnivores in. Ann Tiller, for this one, make sure you say hashtag complete carnivore, all one word. Otherwise, the giveaway tool, the StreamYard giveaway tool, will not count it. So make sure you get that in. Jason says, hello, folks, and gets in his complete carnivore. Valerie Doyle, hello, all from rural Wyoming. Hello, hello. Good to see you. We have many, many people with the hashtag complete carnivore. I called on Jesus. Hello. Good to see you. Also with hashtag complete carnivore. Okay. I called on Jesus. I wish I was in the Vegas area. Yeah. It's, I love Vegas. We don't gamble, but we go to shows and like to go out to dinner. And there's just so much stuff to do out there. Obviously, we're in the Chicagoland area, so we're not near there as well. We'll be flying out. But yeah, it's going to be beautiful weather too. It's going to be in the 80s. Very excited. Been gloomy here, and I'm kind of sick of it already. Diane Matthews, hashtag complete carnivore. If you're just joining us, make sure you comment hashtag complete carnivore to be entered to win a copy of my book, Complete Carnivore. And I'll be giving that away at the end of this live stream. And if you have a question, be sure to put QQQ or a question mark in the very front. Okay, where are we at? Here we go. Phil Nebraska, what are your thoughts on beef or beef bone protein drinks? So like, I think bone broth is great. I think what you're referring to is like beef, like bone broth protein, like powdered protein, which I think is fine. Honestly, if you're going to, for me personally, I can't really do like whey protein because of the milk. I don't do conventional dairy well. So I think it can be an option for many people. The thing with protein shakes, though, is it can hit your bloodstream really quickly and it can spike your blood sugar. Now, I will say that the bone broth protein powders that are not flavored or have any sweeteners in them tend to not hit the bloodstream as hardcore as the others do. I mean, like I'll do like an Equip chocolate protein that's like a beef protein isolate. And even so, I still have a little glucose spike. A little is fine. What I'm worried about is if it's like huge, but that's just something to pay attention to. That's normal. I would prefer you eat your protein, but if you're really trying to get in a lot of protein shakes can be helpful. And for me, like I'm doing a lot of strength training and I need to get a lot of protein in. And if I'm full, but I know I need like another 20, 40 grams, I'll do that. But yeah, use your discretion. And yeah, that's that. Okay, how do you know the thyroid dysfunction was not caused by carnivore? Did you try adding whole food carbs back in and did not resolve? Yes, that's one thing I did. That didn't do anything for me, nothing. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune thyroid condition. It has an underlying or multiple underlying root causes, some of which can be environmental. It could be the food you eat. It could be parasites, mold, bacterial and fungal overgrowths. There's so many things that can go into it. And I've done so much testing. I originally thought, maybe, because that's kind of a common thing that's bumped around in here. And some people, when they reincorporate carbs, they do feel better. It didn't do anything for me. All it did for me was made me super inflamed and I gained 20 pounds. And I tried all last year to reincorporate carbs. And I'm not talking about Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. Low oxalate, low lectin. I made good choices, organic, No, that wasn't it. I literally had a call today with a functional medicine practitioner that deals with more of the parasite, fungal infection, bacterial end of things. And I've got some crazy stuff going on inside of my guts. which makes sense because I started by working with a functional medicine thyroid practitioner that was working with dialing in medication, lifestyle, and hormones. And my thyroid blood work, I just got it done like a week or two ago. It's beautiful, beautiful. My free T4 is perfect. It's always been perfect though. My free T3 is amazing, 3.8. My reverse T3 is a 12, which is amazing. And I no longer have detectable antibodies. None. But I am still tired. And that's even with a full night's sleep. That's with everything dialed in. There's something else going on. So I just had this testing done called an OAT test, an organic acids test. Basically, it looks at metabolites of different microbial overgrowth, neurotransmitter metabolites, toxic exposures, heavy metals and things like that, methylation, nutrient needs. There's something going on in my gut. I definitely have some kind of like a mix of fungal and bacterial, which that combo is usually mold. There's some kind of mold issue somewhere, which doesn't surprise me. I've got some mitochondrial dysfunction, which is pretty common when you have like a mold issue. It could be mold, it could be heavy metals, it could be something else. That's something we need to kind of do some testing on. My B vitamin levels are kind of low. My amino acid metabolites are very low, even though all I eat is meat. So that doesn't make a ton of sense, right? You'd think, oh, you're eating a ton of red meat. You should have tons of B vitamins and tons of amino acids and things. No, there's something going on in my gut where I'm not absorbing it. And I've had a feeling that's what was going on, but until I had, this test, I was like, all right, well, now I see it. Had a great meeting with my functional medicine practitioner. So we're starting on a targeted supplement routine protocol to start addressing everything. I'm doing some testing in the home and a few other different things. But yeah, it's not carnivore. Carnivore did not cause my Hashimoto's. And I don't think it's the cause of thyroid conditions in general. I mean, most new thyroid conditions are Hashimoto's. They're autoimmune. Autoimmunity implies, something is going on in your body to make it attack itself. So yeah, great question. That is a great question. And that's one that until recently I'd been questioning that too. But over the past probably 3 to 6 months, I've pretty been dialed in with that it was not that. Okay. I have no thyroid on 175 of levothyroxine. I hate taking it. Any alternatives? Afraid to stop taking it. So I'm not a doctor. I can't give medical advice. There's lots of alternatives, but I would say you need to work with a functional medicine practitioner that knows how to dial all that stuff in. My experience is just with my own thyroid, and my thyroid works perfectly fine. I just have an autoimmune issue. So that's why we're kind of replacing with medications now. Once I get all this stuff dialed in, my goal is to get off all of my thyroid meds as well. Because in theory, this is working just fine. It's just my body isn't. So I would say you need to find a good functional medicine practitioner to talk to about that. I am currently working with Dr. Amy Horniman. She's great. Her team is amazing. They've really taken me a long way. My fatigue when I first started working with them was debilitating. Now my fatigue is, I can live with it. You know what I mean? I'm tired, but I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'll put that link in the description. And I have a series of thyroid videos coming out starting in April and May of different videos there. Okay, question. Do you or anyone know what to do for unilateral edema in the left foot and ankle? Been carnivore, try not to sit around too much. I'm not a doctor, so I do not have any experience with that, unfortunately. And I am sorry that, what is this? I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer for you. Okay. There we go. Okay. So this is a similar-ish question. Weak, no energy, mostly carnivore 2 years, can't lose the weight at all. Yeah, honestly, I called on Jesus. I would say definitely get a hold of a functional medicine practitioner, because if you are not getting any benefit from the medication, there might be some other things to dial in. And I would be very curious to see what your numbers are, because that would be interesting for sure. If you have a question, anybody out there, please leave a QQQ or a question mark in the very front so that I will know it's a question. And also, if you would like to win a copy of my book, comment #CompleteCarnivore, and I'm going to give it away at the end of this live stream. Oh my God, my throat is so dry. I never talk this much. Okay, this is a great question. Let me grab another drink because I'm parched. Okay, question. Was wondering about the dawn effect glucose. Been carnivore for a couple of years. For some reason, my morning glucose is in the 100 teen range every morning. Seems normal the rest of the day. Yeah, I mean, there's usually a uptick regardless of, what your glucose is. You're normally going to see a little uptick in the morning just because cortisol is rising. It's waking you up. That's normal. Seeing it in the 100 teens though is not great. It's not terrible either. I find that happens to me when I eat too late. So I would recommend maybe switching your meal timing to be earlier, your last meal to be earlier in the day. That can be really helpful. I've also found that like exercise and strength training, building more muscles so that glucose has a place to go is helpful. But I would also want to know, like, do you wear a continuous glucose monitor? Are you doing like finger sticks? Like, what's the overall average throughout the day? I use the NutriSense app, and for that, it gives me a daily average every day. I can look back the day before and see what my daily average was. And as long as it's below 95, I'm happy. Sometimes it's going to be related to stress. It's not just food that moves glucose. So stress, if you had crappy sleep, things like that can also affect it. I don't know if you've been doing carnivore, if you drink alcohol before bed, that can affect it. I'm not saying that you do, but that just so that everybody out there knows. Those are all the things I can think of offhand. Gretchen Hayes. I finally tried sardines the other day. Wasn't as bad as I thought. Just finished another can. This time I poured browned butter on top. Nice. I love that. Yeah, sardines really aren't bad. I tried them for the first time like 2.5 years ago, and I was also pleasantly surprised that they weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. And I just did that 21-day sardine fast. I'll probably have some more tomorrow. I'm not as sick of them as I was after the 14-day. So yeah, it's a thing. All right, Jojo, I survived the 3-day sardine challenge. I shocked myself. That is awesome. And I'm super proud of you. Good job. Yeah, it's honestly a lot easier than it looks as long as you can eat the sardines, And for me, I have found several brands that I actually like them. I will actually just eat them on a normal day. And I think that's really important to find. Be sure to check out my t-shirt, I Survived the Sardine Fast, because that's a big deal. Elizabeth, hello. Good to be here. #CompleteCarnivore. There we go. This is a good point that Terry is making. Stephanie, coffee will raise blood sugar if you drink before you check. Caffeinated coffee, obviously. So yes, make sure to pay attention to that. When I'm doing a finger stick, so like a Keto Mojo meter, I make sure I wake up and then I do the test. Maybe I'll go to the bathroom, but I do it as soon as I wake up, because if I don't, once the boys are awake and I'm cooking breakfast and they're being their normal crazy selves, my glucose goes up. It's inevitable, Tis inevitable. Okay, so make sure you comment #CompleteCarnivore if you have not, so you can get in for the drawing for my book. And also, if you have any questions, Comments, keep it positive, keep it clean, please. Otherwise, I will delete it. But put a QQQ or a question mark in the very front, and I will get to it. Janice, hi Jenny, looking beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very so much. Okay, so Stephanie is checking it right after waking up for even leaving the room. Smart. That is what. Okay, we are going to do that. Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm new here. I've been going carnivore keto for 2 weeks now, slowly weaning off sugar from sweet tea. Carbs and pastas are gone, but that sweet tea, I've lost 12 pounds. That's amazing. Great work. I like that you're, ramping down. That's, I think, a really highly effective way to do it. And I would say, I'm not opposed to using sugar substitutes in the beginning when needed as a bridge. So right now you're doing regular sweet tea with regular sugar. Allulose is an excellent sugar substitute. It can actually lower your blood glucose levels. So that's my sugar substitute of choice if I was to use it. You may need to get used to the taste. It tastes a little different than the regular sugar, but that could be a bridge for you where you start, maybe doing half sugar, half allulose, and then slowly get to where it's just allulose. And then as you continue on keto and carnivore, your taste buds change, okay? So like the longer you separate yourself from that sweet taste, the more your taste buds adjust to where someday, maybe even just a few months from now, you would take a sip of a regular sweet tea and you'd be like, oh my God, that is so sweet. Whereas right now you're desensitized to it. So great work. And I'm happy you're here and keep it up. Helix, Robin, hello, hello, hello. All right, this is a great question. What about scurvy? No vitamin C. Such a good question. And this is a question that I get often, not as often as I used to, but like if I go on a show, if I'm doing like a cooking demo or something, I got this question on a news show where I was doing a cooking demo. Great question. So scurvy. Did you know that one of the cures for scurvy is fresh meat? I bet you didn't. A lot of people think it's just like citrus or other plants. And yeah, that can do it too. But the issue with scurvy, and scurvy is severe vitamin C deficiency. It's really hard to get. Like when you think of scurvy, you're thinking of like pirates. You're out on the open sea and they're smoking and drinking and they're eating preserved meats and things out of barrels. You know what I mean? That's kind of what comes to my mind, at least. This was tested with the Shackleton. I always get this wrong. Shackleton or Shackelford in 1917, I believe. Let me just look it up. Yeah, Shackleton. The Shackleton expedition, 1914 to 1917, went to the Trans-Antarctic, and they were trying to make the first land crossing of the Antarctic continent. Well, they got stuck, and they had to survive for a few years, I think it was. Yeah, a year or two. And they survived on, seals and other animals they could kill and things like that. Not a single one got scurvy. They were eating a carnivore diet while they were out on the ice. Fresh meat, no scurvy. Another thing, when you go carnivore, you don't consume carbs anymore typically. You'll get a little bit here and there. Maybe an egg has a little bit, but you're not eating like plant carbs anymore. And your need for vitamin C actually declines. You need vitamin C. Vitamin C goes with glucose synthesis. So when you don't have as much, it fits into the receptors. When you don't have as much glucose floating around, you're not consuming as many carbs, your need for vitamin C drops drastically. If you were to test vitamin C, it's always drastically low in almost every single person that you're going to test, regardless of diet, unless they are supplementing with vitamin C and forgot to stop taking it before the test. That's normal. So No scurvy here. 3.5 years carnivore, not scurvy. Feel super good in general. Yeah, I still have some issues. It's not a magic bullet, but yeah, great question. It's an absolute great question. Helen, how long does it usually take to get into ketosis? Been carnivore for 40 days, ketones 0.2, no changes, still have joint pain. It's going to be different for everybody. You're going to get varying answers to this. I think 40 days is more than long enough. I would make some tweaks at this point. If you're consuming dairy, cut the dairy. I'm not talking about butter. Butter doesn't count. That's usually fine for most people, but any kind of cheese or liquid dairy, cut it. That's a common inflammatory food. And if you're having joint pain and you're consuming dairy, that probably would take care of it. Another thing with ketones is if you're eating too much food, if you're eating too late, if you're eating way too high fat for your own body. So it depends on a lot of different factors, but I think once you figure out which factor is affecting you, you make that simple tweak and those ketones will be popping in no time. If you want a really simple way to get ketones to go up, do a 1 to 3 day sardine fast. I just released a video on my channel where I walked people through a 3-day sardine fast. My husband and I did it together, and we have different metabolic health profiles. He gets into ketosis more slowly than I do. So it was really interesting to see how that worked between, differently for the two of us, but I would say check out that video for sure. And, yeah, that's what I would say to that. Robin is also a member, as you can see. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Carnivore helps Hashimoto's 100%. Yeah, I would say, I have tried to reincorporate carbs, okay? Like I said earlier, and I just don't feel good. I gain weight super quick. My blood sugar, I can't eat fruit. I wish I could do meat and fruit. Guys, if I could do meat and fruit, I would do it because I love fruit, okay? I love salads. I love all that stuff. But when I do, my blood sugar is just crazy. It's all over the place, and I gain weight really quickly, and I feel inflamed. It's not good for me. Strict carnivore, for me, on Hashimoto's is the best for me. I'm not saying it's the best for everybody. Everybody is a little bit different. You got to figure out what works best for you, but that's what works for me. And that's what works for Robin. Brides Biscuit, good evening, fam. Hello. Good to see you. This is a great question. How do you know if you have Hashimoto's? Is there a certain test? Yeah. So it is a thyroid antibody test. That's how you determine you have Hashimoto's or not. Full thyroid panel would include this. Most conventional doctors do not test this, which is just dumb because there's no way you can know if you have it unless you test the antibodies. So yeah, usually it's thyroglobulin antibodies and TPO antibodies. They're usually together in one. And the way that Dr. Amy explained it to me, there's a reference range, of course. And in the conventional reference range, if you're under like 35 for, I believe, the thyroglobulin, basically a conventional doctor is going to say you're fine. But the way she explained it was, who cares if you have 35 soldiers or maybe only 15 soldiers attacking your thyroid? You still have soldiers attacking your thyroid. That's how she explained it to me. So for me, the highest my antibodies ever were 17. But you'll see some people that have antibodies 500, 1,000, thousands, 3,000. It depends. It's a spectrum. So there's the very beginning of Hashimoto's where you don't really have any symptoms yet, but you could see a little something on the blood work, and then it starts to progress. I think I'm still in a pretty early stage. And because of my diet and lifestyle and all that stuff, I've got a good handle on it. But yeah, that's how you test. And it's going to be a little different for everyone. Like for me, I had antibodies of 17 and I was wasted tired. And then you've got some people that have antibodies of 1,000 and they feel fine. So I think the most important thing is not the blood test itself. Like that just determines if you have Hashimoto's. But what's more important is your symptoms. How do you feel? Because that is, you treat the symptoms, not the blood work. You know what I mean? All right. El Rudery Yogurt. Just had it for the first time today. Heard amazing things about it. Yes, I have heard all about it. I don't do conventional dairy. I could make this with raw dairy, but I also don't really do a ton of dairy just because it slows my weight loss. But yes, I've heard amazing things. Ketogenic woman, Anita Breeze, loves it. She doesn't eat it all the time, but she goes, through phases where she does. And yeah, I think it can be healing for a lot of people. So yeah, definitely check it out. Okay. All right, turning off the autoimmune switch on my Hashimoto's is the goal. Yeah, same. My goal is to put it in complete remission. And with my new doctor that I'm working with, obviously still working with Dr. Amy for the medication, the hormones and things like that, but this new doctor with the microbial and mitochondrial health and all that kind of stuff, I really think I'm feeling very hopeful. I'm feeling very hopeful because I was very frustrated, My thyroid blood work looks amazing and I'm still really tired. So it was just kind of defeating, but now I know why. Because I've got a lot of stuff going on inside of my gut, yeah. Okay, Robin, we've got, if you have no thyroid, you will be on a higher dose, but you will need to keep a log when you feel anything out of the ordinary. For me, I have had a few fevers since starting my new thyroid med. That's a great tip. Great tip. Terry, you're welcome. 100 teens is still in the normal range, especially first thing in the morning. Yeah, it's fine. Some people just run a little higher sometimes. That's why I would want to know what your daily average is, to see if it's really something to be concerned about. But I really don't like glucose to be that high in the morning. I like mine to be 100 or less, especially within the context of a carnivore diet. You're not consuming any carbs. Try moving your meal time earlier. Like when are you eating dinner? What's your last meal? Because that really influences it. We have such better glucose responses in the morning and the early afternoon than we do at night. You could eat the exact same food in the morning and the exact same food at night, and it's going to mess your glucose up at night, more so than in the morning. In the morning, you can handle it better. All right, make sure you are commenting #CompleteCarnivore if you'd like to be entered to win a copy of my book, Complete Carnivore. Oh, and I should announce I'm writing another book. We're currently in the beginning stages. This time it'll be just a freestanding cookbook, carnivore cookbook. I think the next 2 or 3 will just be cookbooks before I move on to another, full book. But yeah, that should be coming out. I don't know, I'm aiming for fall. We'll see what happens. But yeah. And if you have a question, please put a QQQ in front of it. There we go. Elizabeth, Joan, Jenny, you're such a wonderful person. Thanks for all your experiences you've shared. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's very kind. Okay. Rice biscuit. Okay. Homesick Buckeye with Russell tonight, 8:30. He's a comedian. Great guy. Tell him I sent you. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, you're awesome. Just curious what you think about dirty tree seed water, also known as coffee. 150,000 different chemicals. Main one, caffeine makes bugs brains explode. I don't drink caffeinated coffee. I drink decaf. I don't think it's a big deal. I think the biggest problem with coffee is the mold that's on a lot of it. Also like K-cups and the microplastics and things like that. Yeah, I've tried cutting it. Didn't do anything. So yeah, people are always like, why do you drink decaf? I cut caffeine years ago, like a decade ago, former anxiety issues. But I think, yeah, a lot of people benefit from cutting it. And then there's a lot of people that don't see any benefits. So I think you just got to do what's right for you. And as far as I'm not the carnivore police. I'm not really big into black and white thinking, the world is many shades of gray. So if drinking coffee works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. Just got to do what's right for you. Okay. This is very nice, Robin. Wonderful human. Watch some of her older, 4-year-ago stuff with Max and Harry. Such a good and sweet mama. It's so freaking cute. Max and Harry need their own theme song. Yeah, they're adorable. So if you guys don't know, this channel used to be a twin mom lifestyle channel. This is actually my 3rd YouTube channel. My first one was a camping and outdoor adventure channel. Second one, which still we release videos on occasionally, is called Gorn and Jen. It's our Airstream, vintage Airstream renovation and camping adventures. And then this one is my third YouTube channel. I started it when I was pregnant with the boys, like 34 weeks pregnant. And we weren't really traveling anymore, so I started this YouTube channel. And yeah, lots of twin mom lifestyle stuff in the beginning. And then I released 2 carnivore videos simultaneously, my 30-day and my 90-day carnivore update. And they kind of blew up. And slowly but surely, my content just evolved into that. And yeah, some of those videos are really cute. There's this one video I made of the boys. It's called Baby Day Spa. It's short. It's like 5 minutes long. And we basically, the boys, the little babies, are going to the day spa after a long day's work. And we do like masks on their faces and a little face roller and salt scrubs. It's very cute. Yeah, lots of cute videos from back then. I like making videos. I like doing vlogs. I started my 4th YouTube channel, Jenny Mitich, etc. That's more of a vlog style channel, but I just don't have time to shoot anything. Like I always put my Halloween decor videos over there. And like, I think I'm going to do a meat stock vlog. So I'll put that over there, but I'm making like 12 to 16 videos a month plus podcasts for this channel. So I don't, until I get some help, I just can't do too much. Okay. This is a great question. Can you go carnivore after bariatric? Yes, 100%. I have 2 videos on my channel related to carnivore and bariatric because there's some unique considerations. I would say if you have not had bariatric yet, do not get bariatric surgery. Full stop. If you are out there and you're thinking about it, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not permanent. You will gain back most of the weight that you lose. Most people do, and gain more. And it leaves you with a compromised gut, and your nutrient absorption is terrible. I know so many people that just have horror stories with bariatric. But if you've already taken the plunge, nothing you can do, but you can definitely do carnivore. And I have a couple of videos on my channel that will guide you through it. Oh, snap. Jenny, what's up, Beth? How you doing, girl? Good to see you. Carnivore Jerry, good to see you as well. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. I know. Where you been, girl? I endeavor to do live streams every Tuesday, but it's hard with kids and we travel a lot. We're not going to be around for a few weeks. Pulled out my planner. Yes, I still use a paper planner. I'm old school. Yeah, we're going to be camping for a few weeks and then we'll be down in Florida. So my goal is to be back on a live stream in like 3 weeks, but it might be a month. I don't know. It just depends on where we have clear and stable internet. So I don't want to come on and have it be all, crappy. But yes, this is a great point. Lewis reported lower blood sugar using allulose. That's been seen a lot. That's why I use allulose if I'm using a sugar substitute. It's really interesting to see on your glucose data, your continuous glucose monitor data. So RX Sugar has a couple of products, what's called a Swelthy stick. It's like chocolate. They have like chocolate caramel, chocolate mint, and chocolate. If you eat 2 of those and you have a continuous glucose monitor on, you can see, bloop, it drops by 10, 20 points. It's pretty amazing. Some people do report gastrointestinal distress at higher doses of allulose. So, use discretion. Use discretion. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. Have you heard of Katemfi fruit sweetener? I use 6 drops, like a teaspoon of sugar is considered a protein. Yeah. So my friend Susie owns a company called Switch, and they are releasing an allulose and Katemfi fruit sweetener. It's amazing. I used it. She had a sample bottle with her when we were over. We did a cooking video at Dr. Kiltz's house in late January, early February. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a game changer, and it does not spike your blood sugar. It is a protein. It's from, I believe, Africa. It's a tree in Africa. Very interesting. Very interesting. Just all the different compounds that are out there. Yeah, love it. It's great. I studied Shackleton. His story is nuts. His story is nuts. It's crazy. And isn't it funny, like how that was, 110 years ago. So of course that has, faded away from the popular lexicon, where now so many people think, oh my God, carnivore, you're going to get scurvy, when it is like common knowledge, like that's known, that's in books, it's everywhere, that none of them got scurvy. You don't get scurvy from carnivore, like unless all you're doing is eating dried meat and not, anything else, which is not usually what's happening. So yeah, very interesting story. Faux show. He was out there for 3 years. Thank you. Thank you for that. Karen Harrington. Hello, Jenny and friends. Hello. Good to see you. Okay. Jennifer, stormy weather. Having to let go of dairy, arg. But deep down, I know it's been making carnivore an uphill battle for me. Doing dairy-free the rest of March to see how it goes. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if you saw my dairy stall video. I talk about how to test it. I think it's worth doing. Just like with coffee, if you cut coffee for a month and then reincorporate, see how you feel. Same thing with dairy. It could just be like heavy cream and cheddar cheese that are giving you an issue. It could be all conventional dairy. I did a test earlier this year where I did raw dairy, and I tested it against my antibodies, my thyroid antibodies, because when I do conventional, it goes up. It actually went down. I can handle raw dairy. I don't have any inflammatory symptoms with raw. So that's a thing too. But raw dairy or conventional, it still can be overeaten. It still can be addictive, and you need to use discretion. I very rarely use dairy. Like Miller's Biofarm is where I get my raw dairy. And if I'm making recipes or, testing things, I'll have them send a bunch of stuff, and then I'll use like their heavy cream in my coffee for the week or two until it goes bad, because it goes bad really quick. So I try to use it all up, but that's the only time. That is the only time. Amy, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Anytime. Anytime. We just talked about the katemfi fruit. Yeah, I think it's fine. The only thing I would say is if you get triggered by that sweet taste and it makes you want to binge on carbs, then don't do it. But is just a keto and carnivore friendly sweetener. It's awesome. It's awesome. Bride's Biscuit, my TPO and ATG came down about 25 to 30% so far in carnivore. That's awesome. And I love that you have those data points. I think it's really important to have those so you can kind of see what's going on. Keto Simple, good evening, friends. Hello, hello. Guys, we have 7 minutes left. So make sure if you're just joining us to comment #CompleteCarnivore so that you can get your copy, win a copy of my book, Complete Carnivore. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I'll try to get to as many as I can in this time. All right, where are we at? Hi, Jenny. I'm one that is trying to like sardines. How do you make it more enjoyable to eat? Great question. You can always add things to it. Butter, lemon, salt, different seasonings, mustard, hot sauce, sriracha I found was really good. Just find one that doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. Did I say mustard? Vinegar. Vinegar is good. I have found a bunch of brands that I love. They're higher end. A few of these are Portuguese. They might all be from Portugal. Portugal does a really good job with sardines, but they're delicious. So the Nuri spiced sardines, delicious. Mitich, lemon are good. The brand Fishwife does a really good job, but they're like $10 a can. It's stupid. But I'll eat those once in a blue moon. But I would say definitely try different brands too, because if you have found a few brands, you're like, ugh, these are gross. It could just be that brand and that can of sardines. So do a little experimentation for sure. Okay, Bride's biscuit, switch to desiccated thyroid, Lugol's 2%. There you go. Okay, question, A1C 5.6, fasting insulin. Wow, 21.1, Jesus, that's really high. Doctor says my blood work is beautiful. I've been keto for a year, can't lose weight. Okay. Fasting insulin of 21 is not beautiful. Your doctor is insane. I am not a doctor, but from years of experience with fasting insulin numbers, that's why you're not losing weight. You want your insulin to be in the single digits, ideally between 2 and 6. Okay, so keto for over a year. I would be very curious for you to watch some of my lipotoxicity videos. You may need to do a more moderate fat version of keto. You may need to throw in some specific exercise, and you may need to do some fasting because that fasting insulin is very high, and I would want to take care of that immediately. But check out my lipotoxicity videos. I have a new one coming out soon. This is something that was affecting my husband, and we had to do aggressive water fasting and some zone 2 cardio and strength training before we knew about lowering the fat a little bit on carnivore. You're doing keto. I would say if you're consuming dairy, cut the dairy. And yeah. And if you need a coaching call, maybe just a single coaching call would be helpful where we can dial a few things in because there's a few things that go into this, but I would say start there. I'll put those in the description. Lipotoxicity video. I'll just do the lipotoxicity 101 because I have 4. One is with Dr. Nadir Ali. One is with Craig Emmerich. One is where I go over Goran's data from our 8-month experiment where we were trying to get this under control. And one is like lipotoxicity 101 where I distill all of that. That's like 2.5 hours of content down into 20. So that'd be a really good starting point for you. Bride's biscuit. Yes, antibodies can be disconnected from symptoms, 100%. I'm asymptomatic, but my numbers are quite elevated. Yep, and it can go the opposite way. Numbers very low, and you're very symptomatic. That was me. Okay, I like mustard on sardines. Okay, I want to make sure I get to any questions. Okay, maybe this is a stupid question. Coffee beans, they grow on trees. Do other beans grow on trees? I'm uneducated on beans. That's funny. That is funny. Okay. Okay, here's a question. Do you do bulletproof your decaf coffee? No. Black. I don't add fat to everything. I do more, well, I've been tracking my food lately because I was doing the 21-day sardine fast, and now I'm trying to make sure I'm getting enough protein because I'm really like heading into a muscle building phase. And with all this testing that I've just had done, I really need to focus on all of that. But I'm settling at like a 65% fat to 35% protein, all the way to like a 70% fat to 30% protein. I sometimes do 60% fat to 40%, but no, I drink black coffee. MCT is great. I don't need all that extra fat. Okay. Can you do carnivore if you have stents? Yes. Again, not a doctor, so I'm not going to guarantee, anything, but yeah. The thing with any kind of cardiovascular issue is you really want to get your inflammation and your blood sugar under control because that's what's causing damage. And carnivore is one of the very best ways you can do that. My inflammatory markers are just like nothing, unless I'm like, if I have a cold. And then they go up to like maybe like HSCRP goes to like a 1.1, but then it immediately drops back down to like a 0.2. My blood pressure is beautiful. My blood sugar is beautiful. My fasting insulin is like a 3. Yeah, I really wish like my dad would go carnivore because he has heart issues. It would just be so good for him. Check out Dr. Obadia. He's a cardiologist and heart surgeon, and he has a lot of information on that. Okay, so we are to the giveaway time. Are you ready? Let's do it. And we'll answer some more questions while we're waiting for the thing. Hold on. Let me make sure I do this right. Let me make sure I do this right. Share my screen. Giveaway tool. Share. Are you ready? Let's see. Let's see who's gonna win. All right. Who's the winner today? Mary Hubbard 24. Woo, woo. You are the winner. Let me know if you are here. Please say, yay, I'm here in the chat real quick. And you can send me your address at mamamitich@gmail.com. And I will send you out a copy of my book. All right. Let me make sure. Let me see if she's here. Hold on. Okay. Mary is here. Yay, Mary. Okay. Send me your mailing address at mamamitich@gmail.com, and I will get that sent out tomorrow. All right, guys. This was super fun. I'm really going to try to do another live stream in the next 3 weeks, just with travel and internet. It's just not great. Starting in April, I'm going to be able to be much more consistent because we don't have a big chunk of travel again until probably June or July. So we'll definitely be able to do that. But I am so happy that you guys came to hang out with me. Mary Hubbard, I will send you the book. Just send me an email. And you guys have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.